Hi everyone, welcome back to our garden podcast. Just a really quick update about my wildlife pond and how I'm getting on with it. Now, I posted a few weeks ago about wanting to create a wildlife pond at the back of the garden. I've got a goldfish pond and a couple of small wildlife ponds either side as you walk up the garden. But the neighbour luckily replaced a couple of fence panels a few weeks ago, and I had to clear some space for it to be done, which is next to the compost heaps and some wood store of mine. So I thought, why not use the space for a new wildlife pond? There are ponds at the back of these gardens backing onto me which have frogs and newts in them, having spoken to the neighbours previously, so I know they're around, and obviously we get them in our ponds already. So why not create another little habitat for them? I picked up this plastic preformed pond probably about a year ago now. It was actually from my brother originally. It was free, so I've been storing it at the barn, and obviously when this space came to light about me using this space, I thought, why not use that pond that I've already got? It's already been made. It's going to be recycled essentially because someone's used it and pulled it out. Some of the edging was snapped, as I've shown you previously in another episode. So what I've done is dug deep enough for the edge of the preformed liner to sit nicely flush in the soil, and then I've kind of banked up this bark now around it. I've used the logs as A, decorative, but B, the logs were kind of scattered around the garden in various places, not all in one place, creating a habitat of any kind. So I've used them now to surround the pond and in turn, hopefully create a nice little habitat for the creepy crawlies around the pond as well, and also hiding space for frogs and newts and things like that want to enjoy the pond. Now, I'm only on phase 2/3, I can't quite remember, but it is coming along now. The bark's down, the logs are in place. I've used the water from the water butt that I had in there, and I have topped it up with some tap water from the outside tap, probably about half and half, and I'm just going to let it settle now for a few weeks before I start putting some aqua plants in there. I'm going to speak to the garden centre and see what they suggest about when to put them in there and what to put in there. It's sort of semi-shade, semi-sun in the normal sort of spring, summer, autumn season. So it is, I think, pretty good space to have it, and it'd be interesting to see how the aqua plants react to shade and sun, etc. No fish are going in there. I've already got my fish pond. It's purely for wildlife and to see what happens over the coming weeks and months, really. Now, along the back here, it looks quite plain at the moment, so I'm going to put some ferns along the back. I'm going to build myself a little planter, put that along the back fence panel there, and have some ferns in there, and also get a couple of hostas, or I might use the hostas I've already got in the shingle area of the garden, and put them in between the logs. They're only relatively small, so I might put those in between the logs just to give it that kind of more natural look and feeling about it. Obviously, ferns love shade. It's a perfect area here, sort of where I'm standing and behind me, to put those ferns in place. And then the hostas, again, loving shade. I'm not great at putting hostas in the ground. They seem to get destroyed by slugs every single time I do it. So I have put them in the shingle area in pots, which is the only deterrent I've managed to find in this garden to keep the hostas going. However, I don't think slugs particularly like bark. So we'll give it a go. If it works, it works. Great. If it doesn't, I'll go back to using the pots that they're already in with shingle around them, or crunched up eggshells apparently works, but I've not tried it. But yeah, to get those hostas going would be fantastic for this area. I think it will really give it that kind of X factor. Other than that, I think that's it for phase 2. I'm just hoping in the next sort of few months that we start to see, I don't think we'll have spawn this year, because I reckon probably year 2, year 3, we might get some spawn. We do in the other ponds, but it can take a while for that to happen. But definitely see some frogs in there. 100% we're going to see some newts, because I see them all the time in the garden. So yeah, I've also, I've added the get outs for the animals, the amphibians, that obviously if they want to get out, then they can. So I've got a little wooden path on one corner, which is connected to a raised pot within the pond. And also there was a broken larger pot at the back of my garden, which I dropped last year. I've got the edge of that from the same pot that's actually submersed in the pond. So it creates a nice bit of height for the amphibians. And say, for example, a hedgehog gets in there and needs to get out, then they can. They've got the ramps to get out, which is really important, obviously. So yeah, I've also put this massive, great big log at the back log. That's a stone. I've put this massive stone at the back here, which I carried down from near the bird bath, and the log that I got from a friend's house a couple of years ago kind of looks like a love heart, sort of. So if you can see that. But yeah, just a couple of little features. And then once the ferns and the hostas are in place and the aqua plants are in, we're pretty much set. So yeah, any thoughts and opinions, please leave them, and we'll catch you again soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit subscribe and like if you've liked what you've seen. And there's plenty more videos to catch up on from previous episodes as well. So anyway, I'll stop talking and I'll see you all later. Bye for now.